All right, it's Nathan again with Total Environmental. Somebody brought up a good point today. We're looking at optimizing your website, search engine optimization, SEO. Y'all are going to notice that I make a lot of these videos while I'm driving. Making the video itself doesn't really require me to look directly at the camera, and so it's like holding the conversation for me. So search engine optimization is what we're looking at, and one of the things that Google prompts is, you say you put in AC company, it prompts the near me because it knows your location. So if you're one of these people out here that are really worried about Big Brother, go ahead and put the cell phone down, hit it with a hammer 6 or 7 times, and go live in the woods. Okay, but if you're just like a normal American and you would like to have access to information in the palm of your hand, literally, then your cell phone's a great resource. But you will be prompted if you use Google, and I don't use Yahoo or Bing or any of the other ones, but if you use Google, you will be prompted to something like near me, in my area. And you can even make the search more concise once you choose that. But so here's the thing about the near me. We're a company in Saginaw, right? So we're a little small mom and pop shop here in Saginaw, north of Fort Worth. We're inside of Tarrant County. Our service area is, greater DFW, mostly like greater Tarrant County is what we generally say. But we go to Dallas, we get into Denton, we're all the way out in Weatherford. The reason that we can do that effectively, the reason we can do it effectively is because we hire technicians that live in those areas, and every chance we get, we try to dispatch that technician from his home. So if I've got a technician who lives in Weatherford and I got a service call that comes in Weatherford, Aledo, or Benbrook, or Azle, or Springtown, well, I don't see the point in having him come into the office to check in, turn around, and then drive back to where he basically already was, where he already passed in most cases, coming into the office. The same thing goes with, if I got a call in Louisville, I'm not going to have my guy in Euless drive here and turn around, pick up that call, and run out there. Now, that was kind of the way businesses had to be run, because technicians had to come into the office, they needed to pick up their information, their bundle of tickets, and then they needed to run that bundle of tickets and service calls, which was a great way to do it. It was basically the only way to do it, right? Now the way it works is we're paperless. So I send the technician the customer information, address, where he's going, and we make the phone call for him, let him know, hey, this technician's on the way. He can leave from job to job, and we can make variations to where he's going to go. Maybe one customer's running behind, and so that would have been next on his list. Well, now I can detour him and kind of run a different route and reroute him, redirect the guy so that optimizes his time frame. So when you get on the internet and you search for an AC company, right, and it says something like near me, prompts you to do that, that's great. If you want the AC company to be right in your backyard, where you can walk up and knock on the door and say, hey, can you come out and fix my air conditioner? Awesome, that works great. But when you're really just looking for an air conditioning company, most air conditioning companies do what we do, right? We hire technicians and dispatch from the house. That's the modern way to do things. That saves time. That gets the technician there quicker. It saves on fuel. For us, it saves on wear and tear on the vehicle, so they're not doubling back. So don't worry too much about the air conditioning company near you. If they are providing service in your area, then they've already worked out the logistics. And like I say, unless you just want that company that's right in your backyard, the hometown company, I support that. I get that. I'm in the area, Saginaw Chamber of Commerce. We do things. We try to do some community stuff, cookouts. We try to host a block party in the area, stuff like that. So I get it. I get support in the neighborhood. But if you're looking for a qualified technician and there's not one that's just right in your backyard, don't worry too much about proximity. Proximity is been covered, because we're hiring, you know, I'm currently looking for technicians, you know, as we grow, you know, we're looking for technicians farther and farther out. And then hopefully at some point in time, you know, we're looking for technicians as far out as Mesquite and McKinney. I mean, we haven't grown quite that much yet, but that's in our growth project. So when Google prompts you to, you know, do you want it near me? Well, we're not dinner, you know, we're not a walk-in store. We can be, you're more than welcome to come out, but we're not generally, you're not going to come pick up your merchandise from us. So near you isn't as important as qualified, trained technicians. So those are going to be the big key stuff: qualified, trained technicians. And we'll go over, at some point in time, I'll make a video on the difference between a junior technician and a senior technician. And because we're going to start seeing a lot of 1 and 2 year technicians coming in, because our industry is so starved for qualified workers. And people coming out of the military, there's an article in the news the other day, people coming out of the military, they're getting, there's a bunch of these 6-week crash courses. Now, I don't generally like the 6-week crash course, but there's a couple of programs out there that aren't like 4-hour classes. There's a program out there that's bringing these guys in. They're there for 12 hours a day. They never leave. They're booked in a hotel room, and they're in the lab. They're doing studies in a lab. They're doing classroom work. They're getting 6 weeks of rather decent exposure to air conditioning. So I'm a little bit excited about that. But just so you know, you may get a technician that's a 1-year technician. He's got training, qualified. So we're going to start seeing, I want to make a video on kind of what the difference is between a junior technician and an intermediate technician, and then what I would consider myself, what I consider most of the guys that are working for me now is either intermediate or master technicians. I'll kind of describe some of the differences as the service call kind of escalates. Kind of describe some of the differences where a customer could get frustrated because this technician can't solve this problem, but this problem is 1 in 100. It doesn't feel that way when you have one air conditioner. It feels like 1 in 1 problems, but it's your one air conditioning is out of 1 out of a million, so you may have this problem that's 1 in 100. It makes it a little more difficult to solve. But again, I regress. Going back to the near me situation, don't worry about that. Just make sure they provide service in your area and they've got a pretty good background, pretty good reputation, and you'll get somebody who's available, get there quick. Let us worry about the logistics. All right, have a good day. Again, it's Nathan with Total Environmental Cooling and Heating, Saginaw, Texas. Phone number is 817-694-0919. We are Total Environmental Cooling and Heating, but we're fixing to change to just shorten that down to just Total E Cooling and Heating. Yes, it's a pun, and we know it. All right, thanks, guys. Goodbye.